Carlin here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is a little bit of this and a little bit of that, honestly. I have some questions that I'm going to answer first. And then I've got 4 questions that I'm going to answer first. And then I'm going to do just a few little crafty things. And then I'm going to put the top of my desk together and I will show you how it looks at the end. I'm not going to climb up onto a ladder and be doing the decorate with me kind of thing today. Instead, I am just going to do a little, a couple of little accent pieces and show you a couple of things and then go off camera and put it all up there, and then I'll come back with the last video. I'm just not up to getting up on the ladder today, you guys, which I know you guys understand. So, but anyway, I hope y'all are doing okay, and I hope that you had a good weekend. We've had a lovely last few days here. The weather has cooled down and it is much prettier. The humidity is not as high and the sun has been out and shining and it's been lovely, really lovely. So I am thrilled that our heat has, taken a hike there. Hopefully it won't come back. It does sometimes though. Sometimes it can get hot here still through September and even into October. So, hopefully it will stay away though. All right, here we go with the questions. I'm going to jump right in here. Okay, she signed her question Charlotte, but her name is on YouTube is Charlie S. So she says, a question. You have shown how to make different bows. How do you decide which type of bow to use? For example, where is the funky bow more appropriate than a tiered bow? Love your videos. Thank you for all your kindness, Charlotte. Well, thank you so much for those sweet words, Charlotte, and you of course are very welcome. I love doing my YouTube channel. So, you know what? I don't have a cheat sheet, so to speak, like I do for my funky bow to show you how to make all the different funky bows. I don't really have a cheat sheet to tell me when I want to use a tiered bow, a round bow, or a funky bow. I just like to look at the different places or things that I'm making, like a wreath, or even these boxes. Sometimes I'll put a bow, like in an arrangement or in that flower arrangement here that you guys saw me do the other day. I did a tiered bow in there because that's a small arrangement. I think that might be a good rule of thumb. There is, the smaller the accent or the smaller the piece of decor I'm working on, or even the space within, in which I'm working, I'll probably use a tiered bow in those places. The tiered bow are more sculptured and finished looking. Whereas the funky bow is kind of wild and crazy, and you got the tails flying everywhere, and you've got, lots and lots of loops. And I normally tend to use those on wreaths or on my lantern toppers. That's normally where I will use those. And sometimes I will really lift the bow to another level by adding some pip berries in or some greenery in between the loops, just to bring whatever it is I'm working with in the surrounding area, whether that's on a lantern or on a wreath, to bring those elements within the middle of the bow. Sometimes I'll do that, not all the time. I'll use funky bows on swags. Round bows, my big fat Christmas bows are my round bows. I'll see if I can get a picture of it for you here. I really don't, I would say of the three different kinds of bows that I make, that is the bow that I use the least. I tend to do funky bows for my staircase because I don't want a big fat bow like that, like I have in my Christmas, for all year round. I think the funky bow is the perfect size. I've got a pretty good size. Let me see if I can turn you here. Pretty good size staircase here, So, yeah, I'm going to tell you about that pumpkin I've got sitting there too. Look at that. I'm going to tell you real quick about that at the end. I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing something with that this year. I didn't do anything with it last year. So I've got some plans in the works for that. But there's my Can you see my staircase? Oh my goodness, there's my staircase. And those are funky bows that I have on the staircase. So in my opinion, they are just the perfect size for just an accent bow in that vein, you know. So again, it just depends on what you're making. And, you know, I wish that I had a cheat sheet that I could provide for you in that way. But even if I went to write one up, I wouldn't really know what to say, you know, because it's just, I make different decisions. For instance, I'm getting ready to make two-tailed bows for up here on my desk. And Bobby had given me this big fat ribbon. And I don't use the 4-inch ribbon for any kind of bow in a wreath. I don't use it for a multi-looped bow. This is just too big. It's just too big. So I thought, well, a two-tailed bow for each corner of the desk would be really pretty. And it would be enough to bring in the blue and the cream or white, you know, up there. So I'll show you how I'm gonna do that in a little bit. So there you go, Charlotte. I hope that answered your question somewhat. Again, I'm not able to really write you out a cheat sheet or anything. So I hope that helped. Hope that helped y'all. Also too, some of you have been asking me about the tails on the funky bow. Well, I'm sitting here thinking about the funky bow, and some of you have, you know, cut your ribbons at whatever length and made your loops at whatever length, you know. The way to get rid of it looking like I think she said hers looked like a hat, you know, it had the bow and then it had all the tails hanging down from it, is simply to cut your strips shorter. If you keep your strips between 20 and 22 inches with a 5.5 to 6 inch loop for your funky bow, for each loop in your funky bow, I think you'll find that the tails tend to, you know, mix up into the bow a little bit more. Or if you've already made funky bows and you have these long tails, just simply cut them up, cut them shorter so that they mix in with the loops, you know. So somebody just walked past the window. We must be getting a delivery. Okay, so there we go, Charlotte. I hope that answered your question, and I gave you a little bonus there with the, you know, how to control the funky bow tails. Okay, number 2 is from Corinne Belmont. Hi, Arlene, I love your videos as always. I feel like you are my friend, even though we have never met. Haha, aw, that's sweet. I feel like all of you are my friends, honestly. I miss your vacation videos. Oh, I miss being on vacation. I miss being able to do those. It's starting to get cold here in Montreal. Here is my question. Do you have a cleaning routine to keep everything so nice in your house, like a schedule? Big kisses, and oh, thank you for your kind words at the end of your videos. I suffer from MS. Aw, bless your heart, sweetie. And sometimes when I struggle, your thoughts and prayers help me get through the day. Never underestimate what kind words can do, even from afar. Corinne, aw. Thank you for saying that, Corinne. Those words were laid upon my heart a long, long time ago, and I'm made fun of for doing those words. I am, sometimes. But you know what? That doesn't stop me. I'm gonna do them because I felt like they were given to me, and I can't in good conscience. The only videos I'll do without my final words is maybe a travel video, when I'm doing like a montage or not in front of the camera, you know? But for all my crafting and decorating videos, those will always be my final words. But do I have a cleaning schedule? I sure don't. I look at something and go, oh man, that's dusty, I better dust that. That's about as far as I go. And I'm a very scheduled person. You know, it's almost surprising to me that I don't really have a schedule. Now I did when the kids were in school. You know, I did do that when I was really, really, really busy running around with them to hither and yon, you know, soccer and band and music lessons and this and that and the other thing. You know, I had to be more scheduled. And then I would do, you know, like dusting one day and vacuuming the next. Or actually, the house we lived in before this house was not very big, and I could clean that thing in a day, you know. This one presents me more of a, you know, of a challenge, and I'm getting a little older, and I don't even try to clean this thing in one day anymore. You know, I did when we first moved in, but that's been 7 years ago, you know. So, but not really. It's just really, and I'll tell you the truth, since we don't have the dogs anymore, bless their hearts, and since we have the air purifiers around, They really help. The air purifiers, which you can find linked in my Amazon shop if you are at all interested in them. They're in their own little idea box in my Amazon store, and you can always find a link for that up in the description or down in the description of every video I put up. But I think that they really help to keep the dust down, and we got those to help with the dog dander, you know, because we had Newfoundland dogs and a golden retriever when we lived in this house, and boy howdy, they could put off the hair, you know. I'd brush them every day a little bit. So, and I vacuumed a lot more. You know, I find myself having to dust the floor nowadays. I never had to dust the floor because I cleaned so much that I never had to dust the floor. But now I'll notice, like under the desk or under the TV credenza, the floor will get dusty because I haven't had to clean the floor because it's just Chris and I here, you know, tooling around. So I'm sorry I don't have a schedule though. Okay, I'm sorry, Corinne. I would have liked to have been able to give you an A, B, C, and D, but I don't. So, okay, and then this one, I answered this lady in person, but she noticed in my last video that I was working on my, her name is Ann Langley, and she said, Arlene, I noticed you work on your wood table without putting anything down to protect it. Do you have any problem with scratching the table when you slide metal, porcelain, or ceramic items across the top? And I told her, I answered her in person, but my table is not completely, I mean, it's not, I've got a table pad on it right now, you guys. Please don't worry about, I felt bad. I thought, oh my goodness, she's probably thinking I'm ruining my table there. She's watching me work. But I got this table pad from affordabletablepads.com, and I'll give you the link in the description. And we had it specially made, but it wasn't that expensive, but we had it specially made for this table, because I knew there would be times when we would be, you know, hosting dinner parties, or not dinner parties, family get-togethers and stuff, where I'd want to have this table clear. And I normally don't keep the pad on it anymore because when it's decorated. But while I'm doing this series, I normally keep it uncovered, you know, so that I have some place to, like today, spread out and do my crafting and stuff here. Normally I'll do my crafting over on the island. Sometimes I'll do it in on the dining room table, depending on what I'm doing. But it definitely has a pad on it, and it's definitely well protected. I can put hot, cold, sharp, and slide it across this thing, and it will not hurt it. This is right, and it is, you can order it in different colors, I believe, and this is just about the same color as the top of our table, so that's why I tricked you, I think. So you can order the different colors. So there you go. So anyway, that's all my questions. Feel free to ask me more if you want. You're always welcome to ask me questions. All right, so let's get on with this. Let me take a little drink here, a little dry. Shut my computer here and put it out of the way. Okay, now let me turn my camera here and show you what I'm going to be, the accent pieces I'm going to be working on are going to go right up on top of the desk, right up there. And you can see right now I have a few things up there. I've got a lantern up there, and it's got a pipberry garland inside with fairy lights wrapped around it. I need to check and see if they still work. With the funky bow topper, and a closer look at that. I made that, I don't know, I probably have a video for that somewhere. If I can find it, I'll link it. And the start each day with a grateful heart sign. I believe that came from Hobby Lobby, but a couple years ago now. That's been up there for a couple of years. The blue bird came from a secondhand shop. The candlestick came from Hobby Lobby, as did the lamp. And the basket that the plate is in is actually a basket that came with some hen bowl that fits in that basket up there, that cream basket. And then inside I just have a melamine plate with glued to a blue charger. And everything else that I'm going to be working with is going to go up in and amongst all of that stuff. So let's get started here. Let me show you what I have to work with. It's not all that much, I promise you that. First thing is I have 2 candlesticks. And I got the candlestick, one broke one time. Oh my goodness, and Chris had to fix it, and you can see it's kind of cracked right in there. But I got these candlesticks at Kirkland's a couple years ago, I believe. Move you back here. And as you can see, I've got birds sitting up on there now, and they're super cute up there, and you know, in just regular times. And you know, I love them, but I want to replace the birds. I'm going to leave the pip berries in place. I do have the glue dotted on. And in their place, I want to put some pumpkins though. Okay, so I'm going to put just a couple of glue dots on the bottom of the pumpkin. You can find glue dots also linked. Thank you, Danielle, from Danielle's Decor for introducing us to glue dots. I can no longer find them in Hobby Lobby. That's where I bought my first box. I can't find them in my Hobby Lobby anymore, so I have them linked in my Amazon store if you guys would like any. It says permanent on the box, but they're really not permanent. You might have to set your mouth right and work a little hard to get them unstuck, but trust me, they do come off of things. And I'm just going to put 2 little glue dots on there, and there we go. And they might sit there a little wonky, and that's okay if they sit there a little wonky. You know, pumpkins don't sit on the ground perfectly straight, do they? So isn't that cute? And I kind of have the pip berries kind of pointed down because you're looking up on this stuff a good bit. Cute, huh? So that's all I'm gonna do to that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one over here. Cute. Just a touch. As you all, for those who might not know, maybe you've just tuned into this video and you haven't looked at the other ones in my series here. My theme for this year and last year was and is blue, white, and with a touch of burnt orange thrown in for good measure. And so that's what I'm doing for where I'm going with my fall decor, hence the blue pumpkins. So, all right, let me set these down on the chair here. And pip berries got stuck in one another. I also bought these bottles. I bought them from a secondhand store, as you can see, and this one was $9.50. And this one was, I don't know how much, doesn't say. But they're cute as a button. I love them, and they're just a little bit of an accent bottle for up there. And if y'all remember, for those of you who've been watching my series, I have 2 vases on my mantle. And in the vases are burnt orange leaves with cream pip berries. So I want to do a bit of the same here with these bottles, only much less, much less. I just want a few, orange leaves, and that's it. And simply one pick of pip berries. I got the pip berries from AC Moore, you guys, before they closed. I don't know where you could get those, I'm sorry to say, but you could get something similar. And that's it, that's all I want to do. Whew. Man, that was hard, wasn't it? I want to do the same thing with this one. Gotta be careful too, because it's pretty close to the ceiling up there. There goes, oh, it's Chris walking in the front yard. That's who's walking past the windows. Oh my goodness. Chris is my husband, for those that don't know. So there we go. That's it. That's all I want to do with those. Simple, but effective, you know? When you look up and you see that touch of burnt orange up there. There's one more thing that I want to set up there in front of my little sign, and it might hide the sign a little bit, but that's okay. You'll still be able to see the sign from the sides. But I got this last year, and I had it in I used it in another arrangement, but I really want to use it because I love it. And it is a Jim Shore pumpkin. See that? And here it is. It says, count your blessings. Isn't that cute? So it's got a little scarecrow on that side. And then as you turn it, I mean, it's just a lovely pumpkin all the way around. But when you turn it, you can turn it around and have it be a turkey on the other side. Isn't that cute? But I just think this is so pretty. And I'm simply gonna set it right here on this. This is just like a cake stand. And I'm just gonna set it. And I am gonna put a few glue dots right at each corner so that it doesn't, you know, fall off of the plate. So let me do that real quick, and then I'll be right back, and I'll show you how to make a two-loop, two-tailed bow, and then I'll show you everything in place, you know? There we go. All secure. So there we go. Okay, so let me get my camera turned around here, and I will show you how we're gonna do two very quick two-loop, two-tailed bows, just to put at either corner of the desk. So let me get you turned here. Here we go. Bobby, bless her heart, again, sent me this beautiful ribbon. Oh, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And I haven't used it yet. I didn't have a place to put it yet. So I thought this would be perfect to do the plaid, cream and blue. I'm sure you can find this on her Perpetual Ribbons website. And I'll link it in the description. So let me open this up. This is a huge roll of ribbon. And it is gonna make quite a couple of pretty bows. I'm just gonna pull some out off of the, oh my goodness, this is beautiful ribbon. Wowee. Off of the roll. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm just going to make a two-loop, two-tailed bow. And I'm going to start this the way I start my tiered bows. So use your non-dominant hand to hold the ribbon in and make your first loop going away from you. And now I'm just going to make two loops. So I want to make the loops kind of as big as I want them to be. I don't want them to be huge. So I think I want them about that size. And then I want to pull the ribbon from this direction. This is the nicest ribbon, you guys. Oh my land. I'm going to pull the ribbon from this direction, and I want to overlap it. You see that? I've left a little piece there, and I'm overlapping it so that when I pinch it together and go to fluff it a little bit later, then it won't come apart. Oh my goodness, this is such thick ribbon. And lovely ribbon. So there you can see the two loops. And again, as I said, I really don't want it to be huge, want them to be huge. Although I think a little bigger than that might be okay. Changing my mind again. Let's do a little bit bigger. And I'm just eyeballing this, you guys. I'm not, there's no measuring in this. Okay, I made them just a little bit bigger. Okay, now I want to make a center loop for this. So like I do with the tiered bow, I want to just twist that ribbon, and I want to turn it around my first two fingers. This is not for the faint of heart doing this. Let me tell you, this is beautiful ribbon. Oh my goodness. And then as I accordion it down, I'm catching it with my fingers underneath, see that? And as I catch it, I'm not pulling it up this way. I'm pulling it right this way and making sure that the bottom of the center loop is about the same size as this. If not, you're gonna have a wonky bottom on your center loop. Then I want two tails, so I'm going to pull it out a little bit further and grab it on the back with my hand and pull it up. I don't want them to be hugely long tails. And I'm going to accordion that together. And if I wanted three, I could leave this long, but I'm going to cut that short because I just want two. I just want two tails. Whew. Oh, dropped one of my pipe cleaners. And I'm gonna grab my pipe cleaner and I'm gonna feed it through the loop and over my thumb rings. And I'm gonna pull the bottom around the bottom and the top around the top. And I'm gonna use the hand that I'm holding the bow shut with as resistance and get my other fingers up as close as I can and twist. Twist the bow, twist the pipe cleaner. Okay? I don't even know how I would manage to do a bigger bow than a 2-loop, 2-tailed bow, y'all. I am not even kidding. This is beautiful ribbon. There you can see. So what I'm gonna do is trim this tail that's still attached to the bolt. I'm gonna trim it up pretty close in the back. Not so close that I pull it out when I go to manipulate the bow, but and then I'm gonna cut the one tail in half. You cannot go wrong with Bobby's products, you guys. I am telling you. And there we go. And what I'll do, I'm gonna hang them up there and then I will cut these at an angle depending on which corner I put it on. But look how pretty that is. And it's gonna sit at like an angle like that. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm gonna make a second one and then I'm gonna put everything up there. Well, I'm gonna come back and make a second one, then I'll come back for some final words. And then I'm gonna put everything up there and in place and I'll come back for a final video of everything. So I'm gonna make a second one here and I'm gonna make it to match this one as closely as I can. Okie dokie, you guys, I got my second bow done. So they look good. They look pretty similar. Of course, it's never going to be perfect, but they look pretty similar, you know? So, all right. Now, Chris has walked in just in time, and he's going to help me get everything up there and in place, y'all. I don't do ladders very well, and I do get up on them sometimes when he's not here, but since he's here, he was so sweet and said that I will help you. So he's going to help me get everything in place. So I am going to go ahead and say my final words. And then I'll come back with a final video, all right? And I'll tell you about what my plans are for that pumpkin, for that wrought iron pumpkin. All right, so again, I hope all is well with everyone. And for those of you that might be struggling or suffering with a catastrophic illness or chronic pain, I hope that you have someone there with you, taking care of you, helping you get through each day, making the very, very best out of each day. I hope there's nothing weighing on your minds or your hearts, pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or from where it should be. I love y'all to bits, to bits, to bits, hugs all around, and I keep you in my thoughts and my prayers every single day. And with all that said, I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Come back though, because I'll show you the final result there up on the top of the desk. But until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye. Okie dokie, you guys, I'm back. And I wanted to talk to you first about this little wrought iron pumpkin I have here. I bought this a few years ago at Joann's, and I have no idea if they have it anymore. You may be able to find it on eBay, if not. But it is almost like a three-tiered tray, if you will. I've got a bunch of wood pieces in the bottom of it for whatever I had in there before. And I am going to make this into a bit of a three-tiered tray. I'm going to use this pumpkin in the bottom, and I'm going to use these two little cutie patooties in the middle, and then I'm going to put a candle in the top. And each section, as you can see, opens up. And then Chris used that out of a Yankee Candle lid. Used a Yankee Candle lid and kind of made me a place where I could stick a candle up in the top. And I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday and I bought a few things here that I think I'm going to utilize in with this. And I ordered 2 pipberry garlands from Hobby Lobby online. They did not have any in the store. And I have in my mind, I want to use cream pipberry garlands. And I want to cut the 2 in sections. And I'm going to wrap white lights around them. And we're going to put this whole thing over here on this little tray, on this little stand. And we're going to stand it right here beside the steps. And I think it's going to look super cute. So we'll see. I really don't want to go out and buy a different stand, but I may need to. We'll see how it looks on there. So, but anyway, I'm really excited to work with this, but we have to wait for my Hobby Lobby order to come, which is pretty much just the 2 pipberry garlands. And I went ahead and bought them online because they were on sale last week, you know, so I went ahead and bought them because I didn't want to wait until the week after next. Of course, the Hobby Lobby order might not come until the week after next. But anyway, I'm excited to work with that. I think it'll be super cute. So, but anyway, here we go. I'm finished with the top of the desk. I'm really happy with how it worked out. Just a touch of the, you know, the burnt orange up there in with the blue and the white. And then, as you can see, I cut the tails of the bows at angles. And they are just enough, just a little something something to bring some of the blue and white up there. I also hung this. I got this, by the way, I misspoke in the video when I showed you these, when I hauled these. I did not get these from LTD Commodities. I got these from Amazon. And they are linked in my Happy Fall Y'all Amazon idea box. Again, you can always find my Amazon shop link in the description of every video. But I'm really happy with how this worked out. And you can see the pipberry garland inside the lantern. I've got it where it just kind of goes through every single option that's available with those fairy lights, blinking option, which is kind of cool to see something moving up here from, you know, like way over in the family room or whatever. I usually keep them steady on, but I like those to move up there, which is kind of cool. So everything looks really cute. I like it. Very happy with how it worked out. And so that's one more space in our house that's done. I'm not going to do below. I like how it looks right now. And I'm not going to do anything with that. I think it looks cute. So I really don't know what's next. It will either be my dough bowl, which sits here on this table, or I might work on my hutch, which I'm not going to do too much to, honest to goodness I'm not. And that corner shelf, which again I'm not going to do too much to. There's where I hung that other funky bow I made. Right here on this little wreath. Looks cute. But that's it, you guys. That's it for this video. So I'm going to close it out. And again, once again, I'll say, y'all take good care till I see you next time. Alrighty, bye-bye.